Okay, welcome to review day. We're covering section 6.5 to 6.8 for the test coming up. For each question, again, I would have out a graphing calculator, I have out my notebook, and then also I would pause the video and try each question before watching the solution. I think that's going to be so much more meaningful than just watching the test. That's what you have to do, is you're going to be throwing questions, right? So here's a question, boom, you got to figure it out, right? So practice like what it'll be on the test, which is without help. So give this one a shot before continuing. This notation means just add them together. So f of x is right there, and I'm going to add with that g of x. And if you want to put parentheses here, you can, but really we're not foiling or anything here. We're not multiplying, we're just adding. So we're going to combine our like terms. So combine your x's and combine your constants. So when we combine the x's, we get a single x, and then -4, -7 makes -11, right? And that is those two added together. All right, next up, I believe, is the same two, but now just subtracted. Pause the video, give it a shot. All right, so subtraction is really no different. The only thing is I do make sure to use parentheses, especially on the back one, because you have to minus all of this. So a lot of tree students will realize you got to minus the 6x, but they'll treat this as a -7, but it's really minus -7. So what you end up with is you're going to minus 6x, but then you're going to actually add 7 because you're minusing negative. So -5x minus 6x is -11x, and then -4 plus 7 ends up being +3. So the one mistake I usually see on the test there is just forgetting that the negative distributes to both parts. Okay, next up is a multiply. So multiply the two functions and then also talk about domain, which is what is possible for x. Pause the video and give it a shot. So I'm taking f of x, which is this function, multiplied with g of x, which is this function. Okay, and you're just basically going to do FOIL. So multiply the first two together, 14x squared, 7x times -4, -28x. Multiply these together, -12x, -6 times -4, +24. Okay, and then combine your like terms in the middle. So 14x squared minus 40x plus 24. All right, and then as far as the domain goes, just a quick review of that is the general version is all real numbers, which is actually our answer here. So that's kind of your default, and then it won't be all real numbers if you have a root x in there. Then your domain will be x greater than or equal to 0, because you can't do square roots of negative numbers, so you can't have a negative underneath the radical. And then also if you have a fraction, so if you have like x plus 3 over x minus 2 or something like that, then your domain is going to be all real numbers, except when the denominator is 0. So in this case, we would look at what number for x makes that denominator come out 0. So we'd say the domain is all real numbers except 2. Right? Because if it's x is 2, you'd have 5 divided by 0, and that would be a problem. So all real numbers except 2. All right, a division one, and then also to state the domain. Okay, so we're dividing f of x on top with g of x in the bottom. All right, and you don't really divide. All you do is factor and cancel. So up top, that actually is the square minus square case. So we use x and x for the x squared, and then at -4, we use -2 and +2. Right, and those actually add up to the 0x in the middle. All right, so it's just square minus square. And then that's really handy because now we have matching x minus 2, so those will cancel out. And so you end up with just x plus 2 as our simplified version. As far as the domain goes, on division at any point, so I know our answer just is x plus 2 kind of over 1, but we do have a denominator earlier in the question, so we want to check like when is that 0, and it looks like the answer to that is 2. So our domain would be all real numbers except that number that makes the denominator 0, which is in this case 2. So domain is all real numbers except 2. All right, so the last function operation is called composition, which it has the open dot. Remember, solid dot means multiply. This is the open dot. All right, so see if you can make some sense of this. The math isn't hard, but understanding what the heck this is even asking, that's the hard part of this question. So pause the video and give it a shot. Okay, so composition is you take and you do whatever function is closest first. So I'm going to evaluate f of 5. And whatever you get for that output, you're going to input that into the back function g. Okay, so when it's written this way, you do the one that's first, right? Closest first. So f of 5 would just say, okay, if I put 5 in for x, we would get an answer of 9. Okay, and then we're going to take that 9, that output from the f function, put it into g. So we're going to put a 9 in for x there, and it's just going to square it. So we're going to get 81. So we say that g of f of 5 is 81. Right? When you do that composition, you get a value of 81. And I don't think this test has the weird like f of g of x questions. I think it just has one like this. So hopefully you understand the notation. All right, solving, definitely a big part of this test, and tricky because sometimes you get one answer, sometimes you get two. Pause the video, give this a shot. All right, so you're going to use algebra steps, at least at the start here, which is you do the opposite. So to cancel out that square root, you square it. And then the left-hand side is x squared, and then the right-hand side, it cleans up and got rid of the radical, which was our goal. All right, this is a huge part of understanding this. So when you have x squared and x, right, we're not going to do algebra steps anymore. We have to go back to what we learned in chapter 4 and chapter 5, which is when you solve an x squared, you can use quad formula, you can graph it and find the x-intercepts, or you can factor. Okay, and I think on this test, factors should work. They made them easy enough so that they'll actually factor, but certainly you could do quad formula if you want. For any of these methods, you want 0 on one side, and I would usually try to keep x squared positive. So I would minus 7x and add 10, so that we have x squared minus 7x plus 10 equals 0. And now we can hopefully factor this. We're going to do what makes x squared is just x and x, and then multiplies to positive 10 and adds up to negative 7. So we need two negatives. And I think 2 and 5 will work. Right, so now we have this thing times this thing. We want it to come out to be 0. So either the first parenthesis has to make a 0, or the second parenthesis has to make a 0. And so we get one answer of 2, and then another answer here of 5. Okay, so that's our first solve one. We talked a little bit in the lessons about checking them by putting them in to see if they're extraneous solution. But we're not going to worry about that here. I think one of them might be extraneous. I'm not sure. No, I'm doing them mentally. They look like they would both work. If you put them in, and they would both work out and be right. Okay, inverse, right? So inverse is the opposite function. So see if you remember the process for finding the inverse. All right, so the trick is you're going to switch the y and x variables because they're opposite of each other, right? So we have our original function there, which is shown, and then the inverse will come by solving this for y. Right, so we got to get y alone, and we're going to get the y squared alone first and then square root. So we're going to go minus 2, divide by 6, and then take the square root. So we take the square root of both sides, we get y equals a big square root x minus 2 over 6. Okay, and it might have a little bit of plus minus in there. Maybe I should add that in. Anytime you take the square root of both sides, generally you're going to do a plus minus. So think on the test, if it's multiple choice, it might have a plus minus there. And that's the inverse or the opposite of the original function. All right, so this one I don't think is too related to the content of this chapter, so it might be the review one that's on the test. I'm not sure why I threw this one in there, but see if you remember what factor means and factor this completely apart. Okay, so what factor means is do the opposite of multiply, like break it apart. So like 20 can factor to 2 times 10, and then 10 factors some more to like 2 times 5. So factoring 20, we'd say it's 2 times 2 times 5. So factor just means like break apart, reverse multiplication. So on any factor, you always want to do GCF first. And so on this particular one, there's a 2 and an x squared in all of these. So we're going to pull that out, right? Which leaves us with a 2x squared. Divide this by 2, take out x squared. Divide by 2, take out x squared. All right, so we're left with something like that. Oh, I messed that up. There shouldn't be a 2 here. That should just be x squared because the 2 got pulled out to the front. All right, and then much like with 20 here, we want to see if it factors further. So the 2x squared, you could actually write that as 2 times x if you really want to factor here. And then this part we can see, we can put x and x here. See if we can find two numbers that multiply to negative 24 and add up to 5. So I know it's going to be one negative and one positive, with the positive one being 5 bigger. And I think 3 and 8. So if we do plus 8 minus 3, that should work out to be what we need. Okay, and we're not solving anything, we're just factoring, so that's our answer broken apart. All right, so on this one on the test, sometimes students forget what this little f minus 1 even means. And so see if you can remember what it means and do this question. All right, so the inverse, the minus 1 doesn't mean an exponent, it means find the inverse. Sorry, I spelled it wrong, the inverse. So the way we do it is we're going to rewrite it in y notation first. Okay, and then flip the y and x when we're finding the inverse. So we have x equals root y minus 7. Now square both sides. So we end up with x squared equals y minus 7. And then add 7 to both sides. Okay, and that is our inverse function. Okay, another solve one for you to try. Big hint here is that there's 2 answers. Students often forget and just write 1 on the test, so see if you can find both answers to this. Right, so the process is I'm going to isolate this base exponent and then cancel it out by doing the reciprocal. Right, so the first thing is you got to get rid of the times 2 in front, so we got to divide by 2 so that we isolate the base. There's my base and there's my exponent. Okay, and now we're going to raise it to the reciprocal power, so 3/4 power. And the whole point of that is it's going to wipe this exponent out. So we're going to be left with this x minus 2 on that side. All right, this side you can use your calculator, but I think it's better if we switch the forms. And the reason is I'm going to rewrite it as a 4th root of 16 cubed. The root goes down, the power goes up. And the reason is you have to remember that an even positive, like if it's an even index and a positive number underneath, you get 2 answers. So you get plus or minus 2, right? And so that's where the 2 answers come from, is that plus minus. If we cube plus or minus 2, we get plus or minus 8. And then I'm going to split to get my 2 answers. So x minus 2 can be 8, or x minus 2 can be negative 8. And then, sorry, before the poor handwriting, add 2 to get 10, add 2 here, and negative 8 plus 2 would be negative 6. So we end up with 2 answers to that question. All right, I didn't get to the very last solve one here, so I'll probably make another video real quick to help with that solve one. But it'll be a short video, just have this question. All right, thanks for watching.